Once you're ready to come to the US, you have to choose an accommodation. For choosing an accommodation, you have two options if you're coming here for university. The first is on-campus housing. With on-campus housing, you do not need to worry about much things. You just have to pay the room and boarding fee with the university, and the university will take care of electricity, Wi-Fi, and other amenities in their fee structure. You do not have a lot of options with this. Universities will have different housing options available, and the prices will vary depending on the amenities they provide. The good thing about on-campus housing is it is present on campus, so you do not have to travel a lot for attending your classes or going to university. The second option you have is off-campus housing. If you're an undergrad student coming here for the first year, then usually universities will make it mandatory for you to get on-campus housing, but from sophomore years, you could probably move into off-campus housing. Now, if you want to keep it simple, just go ahead with on-campus housing. Everything will be taken care of, and you do not need to worry about much things. If you do not want to go ahead with on-campus housing, you have the option to go for off-campus housing. Now, off-campus housing allows you to be flexible. There are a lot of housing options when it comes to off-campus housing, which can make your monthly rent go down by a lot. So if you want to reduce your living expenses, I'd suggest go for off-campus housing. Usually grad students will opt for off-campus housing compared to on-campus housing. Now there are three different types of accommodation that you can choose. The first one is condos. Condos will usually have a single room and there are no room distinctions. The second option is apartments. Apartments can be in a building or a house, and depending on what option you choose, there can be varying number of beds and bathrooms. And the third option is townhomes. So townhome is like an entire manor or a home. You rent out the entire house and then you could share all of the amenities over that. There are not a lot of difference between the three, but with an apartment, usually there will be a management company who will be taking care of different amenities, and there is a possibility that your rent could include the utility costs. With a house, the landlord or the owner will give all of the amenities, and usually the utility costs are not included in houses, but it can vary, so you'll need to check this with your landlord. With apartments and houses, you have the option to either go for a studio space or go for one bedroom or two bedroom, three bedroom, four bedroom space. A studio space is usually catered to one person, and it is good if you're living alone. Next, you have the option to go for one bedroom. So this would mean there's a living room that would be a separate bedroom, and then depending on what option you choose, there could be varying number of bathrooms. So you could go for one bedroom, two bedroom, three bedroom, four bedroom, or even more depending on the house. Your bedroom can come with a bathroom attached or not. So usually if you go for one bedroom apartment, it will be listed as 1B, 1B. This means one bedroom, one bathroom. If it is listed as 2B, 1B, this means two bedrooms and one bathroom. If it is listed as 2B, 2B, that's two bedrooms and two bathrooms. So the first number 1B, 2B, whatever it is the number of bedrooms. And the second part of the number 1B, 2B is the bathrooms. As the number of bedrooms increases, so does the price. And as the number of bathrooms increase, so does the price. So usually a lot of people will just have multiple bedrooms, but one or two bathrooms. Also, pretty much everywhere, especially in cities, it's much cheaper to have multiple roommates and multiple rooms compared to a studio room. So a studio room, let's say in Boston, would be $2,000. A one-bedroom apartment would be $2,400. A two-bedroom would be $2,800, and so on. So if you want to cut down on your prices, increase the number of rooms, increase the number of roommates, keep the number of bathrooms low, and that way you can cut down on your prices. Another option is a shared space. So with on-campus housing, usually there will be dormitories where you'll have two people living in one room. You can have similar arrangement in your off-campus housing as well, where you can share your particular room with two or three people, depending on how many the management company or the landlord allows. And based on that, you can reduce your living expenses or rent. Now, your rent is just the cost of living the apartment. Usually with your rent, you could have an unfurnished apartment or a furnished apartment. A furnished apartment means that everything is included, the bed, the sofa, and everything. An unfurnished apartment would mean there's nothing included. It would be a blank room and then you'll need to buy everything. Unfurnished apartments are cheaper than the furnished options. And even with unfurnished apartments, usually a refrigerator, an oven, and a dishwasher are always included, be it furnished or not furnished apartments. With every apartment, you'll have some utility costs as well. These are electricity costs, gas costs, and if you want additional Wi-Fi costs as well. Along with that, there is cost for water. Sometimes they add the cost for hot water, and then there's cost for trash disposal. Depending on your rent structure, some of these things could be included in your rent or not. So make sure you check that with your management company on that. So that was all about apartments. Now, how do you go ahead and book an apartment? There are various websites which you can try. Zillow, apartments.com. Usually, Zillow will be a bit more expensive compared to other options. So you can have apartments.com or Airbnb. Airbnb is usually for short-term options, and if you want a long-term option, you'll have to sign a lease. A lease is like an agreement between you and the management company or the landlord that you are going to stay at this place for the next X number of months, and number of months could be 3, 6, 9, or 12. Usually it is 12-month period, and you have to sign the lease agreement before you come live in the apartment. Usually universities will also have a website for searching for off-campus accommodation. You could use that option as well. You could look up houses on Facebook Marketplace. The other option is get in touch with your seniors who will be able to give you contacts of some brokers who will be able to help you find an apartment. But if you get your apartment through a broker, usually the broker will charge some fees, and this fees is either paid by you or by the landlord, or it is half between you and the landlord. And this fees is usually 1 month's rent. So the move-in cost for any apartment is usually the first month's rent, the last month's rent, the security deposit, which equals to about 1 month's rent, and depending on if you chose a broker, then you'll have to pay the broker's fee, which also equals to about 1 month's rent. Also, along with that, you'll have the option to go ahead and purchase home insurance. And you can also look for apartments on Facebook Marketplace. However, be aware of scammers when you're looking for apartments on Facebook Marketplace or through brokers. There are a lot of scams that could happen. So make sure you're going ahead with someone who's trustworthy. Ideally, get an in-person or virtual tour done before you book an apartment. Now, once you find an apartment, you'll have to apply for the apartment. There's an application fee for the application. You fill out the application, you apply for it, and then the landlord can approve or deny your request for the apartment, depending on your credit history and some other factors. After you've been approved for your apartment, you'll have to pay for the move-in costs and keys. Apart from that, there's no other fees usually involved. And that's it. Roughly try to look for apartments 3 to 4 months before you move in. And in the next video, I'll talk about my journey with apartments.